payment landscape here in APAC is quite diverse. It's actually really exciting because I believe that in APAC, Southeast Asia, India, in particular, you're seeing this lead innovation of digital payments. Real-time payment methods developed by or in conjunction with government, the explosion of different wallets, the use of those real-time payment methods to uplift economic, socio-economic benefit to the community. I met recently with Reserve Bank governor in Thailand, and you see this behaviour in India where they're looking at real-time payments as a way to bring everyone into the internet economy, even if they don't have a bank account or can't get a credit card. Things like UPI, PromptPay, Singapore has PayNow, Australia has PayTo. So you're seeing this tremendous innovation beyond just the normal credit cards, which exist as well, but in other parts of Asia, from say Singapore and Australia, credit cards aren't as common. And so this innovation, I think, is world leading and very different to what you see in America, which is a very credit card, bank transfer driven economy. You can't paint Asia with one brush. Every country is very different and on a very different journey. If you look at Singapore and Australia, in both countries, I never take cash. Everything is paid by my phone, tap to pay, or I do a PayNow, but I don't use cash much anymore. Even in a hawker center in Singapore, I just pay with PayNow. Japan, on the other hand, is still a very driven cash economy. In-person commerce, retail, cash is 40% of the market. The government, runs programs, encouraging everyone to use digital wallets, the PayPays, the credit cards, etc. But it's still way behind, some of the other economies. And so you have this diverse. China is WeChat Pay, Alipay, so it's very digital from day one. You don't see credit cards as much, and you don't see cash almost at all. And so the excitement for me is just the innovation that's happening, and particularly slightly different in each country, like the AI wave coming out of China, gaming wave, what we're seeing in India with SaaS and vertical SaaS, and what I believe will be a vertical AI wave. Cross-border commerce. 54% of the business and merchants in my business in Stripe is cross-border. Australia has 500,000 customers there, of which 10% are operating internationally, leveraging Stripe. So Stripe as an enabler of global commerce is really exciting. And I think many countries in Asia think globally from day one. And so it's a really exciting region to be a part of. A one platform approach, but with payments, unlike software, everything is local. So whilst there's one platform, it's an extensible platform that allows us to have something unique for every country. So, here in Singapore, yes, we have credit cards, but we also have PayTo. We also support GrabPay. We support other payment methods on the same infrastructure, because our merchants' goal is to be able to sell to their customers regardless of what the common payment method is. In Australia, buy now, pay laters, the Zips, the Afterpays, Klarnas are a growing part of the market. And so Stripe's able to support those out of the box. And we have a technology we call the Optimized Checkout Suite, which is built and driven by AI as well. So when our merchants use Optimized Checkout Suite, we can leverage AI to present the right payment method for the right consumer at the right time. So if you're buying, a t-shirt online, you may use a credit card, and that may come up as a first option. If you're buying a couch, it may come up with a buy now, pay later as an option based on you and what we're learning about, the behavior of people in those particular purchases. And that means the merchant doesn't have to worry about that. They're able to execute the transaction when the person wants to buy. Well, one of my top priorities was South Korea, and we just announced South Korea. So now we can support merchants from many countries around the world who want to sell into the Korean market. OpenAI, for example, are now using Stripe to access the Korean market. We're also working with a lot of Korean customers expanding their business outside the region, like LG and Samsung. And so, you know, we're working with Samsung very closely on their payment method at the moment. And so there's a lot going on for our business in Korea, even though it's early phase. But I'm really excited about the growth potential in South Korea and expansion further in Southeast Asia. So Indonesia will be the next country we announce here in Southeast Asia. And then it's about adding more and more to the existing countries that we already have, you know, more payment methods, more ability to move currencies around the world, and just expanding our network within those countries. I'm really excited about this. We see already that about 14% of businesses in APAC are using stablecoin in some way already. And the surveys that we have show that 46% of merchants are thinking about using in the next 12 to 24 months. So I think you're going to see an explosion of stablecoin use across our economy in APAC for a couple of reasons. One, we're a very diverse economy across the region, some very highly developed, mature economies, but also some emerging economies with different socio-economic backgrounds in those, and where stablecoin becomes more relevant, but also just the global nature of our customers here, that are many are global first, but they're dealing with companies and customers all around the world. So the ability to have a digital currency that makes that money movement much easier is really exciting. So we're working currently in conjunction with Bridge and Privy, which are operating alongside Stripe, but still independently, to make sure that our customers have the best of both worlds. They want to use the traditional rails and the traditional infrastructures that's there. Stripe's there to support that, but if they want to enhance that and grow further and invest more in digital currencies, stablecoin and crypto wallets and so on, we're there, you know, with Bridge and Privy to help them do that as well. So you don't have to choose. We'll be able to help you make the right decision for your business at the right time. One piece of advice I'd give is don't necessarily try and do too much too quickly. Really understand what your buying audience is and where that applies. And now the answer to that question is different based on what you're selling. If you're selling enterprise SaaS software, it may be very relevant to the United States and Western economies, but you want to start in the United States first. It actually changes when you're talking artificial intelligence, because these companies are moving so fast and they're applicable to so many consumers and businesses around the world. They're effectively operating globally in many countries day one. But I think that's a unique use case. And as you expand out of Asia, different regulations, different cultures, even within Asia. And so for founders, it's, you know, understand the markets, where you're trying to go, you know, speak to people that have done it before, you know, because we have some wisdom and experience within there, so that when you make that step, you're doing it, you know, with all the knowledge you need to be successful. So yeah, there's many other pieces of advice, but that's a key one. Yeah.